So the Forbidden list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Masterduel was just released, and I figured I would share my thoughts and opinions here on the channel. As you all already know, I'm a Vexel, and if you want to see more Masterduel content here on the channel, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment down below letting me know what deck you're currently running and any future bans or unlocks you would like to see here in Masterduel. Also, I want to announce that I'm going to be starting my stream back up over on twitch.tv/avexel every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So go check me out over there. Without further ado, let's hop right in. So ever since tier limits came to Masterduel, we've been in a tier 0 format. The tier cards themselves are honestly, in my opinion, an amazing engine to run, but they excel when paired with other engines such as Branded and Ishizu. Going into this ban list, I was really hoping for a limitation on the tier limit cards themselves, especially with Kashtira on the way, but however, we did not get that. As you can see, there were only 3 cards listed here on the Forbidden list: Cyberstein, Smoke Grenade of the Thief, and Terraforming. Personally, I think Cyberstein is a menacing card in the Masterduel format. It being a level 2 card pairs very well with engines such as Sprite and can also be used in ways that are just very, very toxic for the game. These FTK Cyberstein decks that I've been coming up against are just some of the most bullshit decks in the game, and I'm glad that they're hitting these decks hard. Next, Smoke Grenade of the Thief. I don't know this card. I haven't seen this card in Masterduel. I'm not sure how it plays in the TCG, and I'm not sure how it plays in the OCG. But after reading what the card actually does, which is basically after it's destroyed while active, you can look at your opponent's deck or your opponent's hand and send one of his cards to the graveyard. I can see why they're banning it, but personally, I haven't seen it in Masterduel, so I don't get the reasoning for this card to be banned here in the game. But like I said, it could be because there's future cards that are coming out. It's prevalent with the meta, like TCG meta, OCG meta, things like that. Next card, Terraforming. Honestly, I think Konami is just playing with our emotions with this card. They just recently banned Instant Fusion. They are banning Terraforming. I think they're just trying to limit the decks that we can use to try to defeat these tier limit cards at this point, because the tier limit cards are running rampant in this game right now. Moving on, cards to be limited: Keldo, Medora, and Yugioh. Thank you. I'm glad that they limited these cards. This is actually going to help with kind of the meta. I don't think it's going to help as much with like the tier limit side of it, because honestly, a lot of tier limit is only using maybe 1 or 2 of these anyways. It will help with the Yugioh being limited to 1, and the fact that they can only mill once with Yugioh. However, the fact that they didn't hit Kelbeck kind of sets it off for maybe they're coming down the line to introduce with Kashtira coming out. We also have Bystials on the way, so Bystial tier limits could be a thing here shortly. And honestly, like, I wish they would have hit Kelbeck as well, because that would have been a lot better in my opinion. But enough with the limited cards. Let's move on to the semi-limited 1x1. Sprite Blue. Now, Sprite's a great engine. It has been a great engine for a while. We saw a Runic Sprite meta. We saw a pure Sprite meta before tier limits came out. And Sprite Blue, I don't see the reasoning to semi-limit this card itself. I think if they had limited Carrot, or they limited one of the other sprite cards other than blue, Jet's the other one. If they had limited Jet, then maybe. But Sprite Blue being limited, I don't think it's going to do much. Like I said, Bystials are coming. We have leaked confirmations that Bystials are coming. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Bystials basically just summon boss monsters. And Sprite has a very hard time putting out high attack monsters on the field. You can get your gigantic Sprite in there, or you have it takes a little bit of time to actually get your boss monsters on the field with Sprite. So I think that the Bystials kind of counter Sprite in a way, and I don't see the reasoning for this. Gearsu, the Orcus Mech Knight, I don't see this being that much of an impact either. There's, I guess, a big push for Orcus to be part of like the up and coming in Masterduel. But again, Bystials, they pretty much counter Orcus. They just drop their big boss monsters on the field and it's game over. Nadir Servant, again, it's another one that could probably go to 3 and wouldn't have any impact on the game. Yeah, sure. A year ago, when the game came out and Invoked was running amok, we could see this being a decent card to have. Now, again, it's just not gonna do much. But yeah. Metaverse. Now, this is Konami just absolutely shitting on all of our emotions. Like, this reminds me of the Invincible meme where Omni-Man is literally telling his son to think with his head. It's like, hey, we're gonna ban terraforming, but guess what? You can have 2 metaverses. They do the same exact thing. It's like, what's the point of banning terraforming, which lets you look in your deck, find your field spell card, and put it on the field? Metaverse does the same exact thing. So they're like, let me ban this one, but let's give them this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Konami, like I said again, Konami's just messing with our emotions at this point, and I don't understand this ban list really with that. And then finally, last but not least, Cyber Angel Benton. Cyber Angel Benton, I don't remember if this was limited to 1 or if it was playing with 3 this entire time, but Drytrons are still like one of those good free-to-play decks. So for those of you that are playing like free-to-play decks, right, and aren't going for the competitiveness side of this game, I can see like there's a reason why this will be okay for you guys. Again, I don't think it's going to do much for us as far as tier limits go, as far as Bystials go, as far as Kashtira goes. I don't see it happening or like having that much of an impact on the game. But yeah, so some key takeaways here. Bystials are coming. Definitely are on the way, so be ready for that. Bystials tier limit is probably going to be the next meta, I would say. Some form of Bystial tier limit, Ishizu bullshit. Whatever. I don't think this ban list does enough to get us out of our tier. I think it'll get us out of the tier 0 format, but I don't think it does enough to get us out of the tier format, you know? I think their tiers are still going to be running amok. That's why, like, my favorite deck to run right now is Fluwanderies. So, and Fluwanderies runs terraforming, and it basically kind of counters tier in a way. And a lot of these floodgate, you're having to run all these floodgates, these dimension shifters, these dimensional what is it, dimensional fusions. You have to run like all these stupid floodgates just to try to deal with tier limits. And one of the top meta decks right now, Exo Sisters, it literally is on the meta right now because it counters tier limits. So any deck that just shits on tier limits is going to be a good deck right now. And with Bestials coming, I think they're going to still be prevalent in the near future. Fuck a Shizu. Fuck tier limits. I personally have played tier limits. I was playing tier limits for the longest time. I just didn't really care for the deck that much. And a lot of the times I didn't get enough UR to craft like the top of the line tier limits deck. So I was running most of the cards, but a little budget friendly. And a lot of the times I just get outed, and I don't know. I switched to my Fluoneries deck, and I've had great success with it. There's a video coming out probably next week with about Fluoneries, about my Fluoneries deck. I had an amazing mirror match the other day that I want you guys to see. So we'll stay tuned for that one. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified when that video goes live and you won't miss it. And Konami, please quit playing with our emotions. Like, don't throw a random terraforming ban into the mix. Stuyvesant, cool. Smoke Grenade of the Thief, okay. But terraforming, like, right after the instant fusion ban is kind of bullshit. Honestly, in my opinion. Yeah, that's the new ban list that's coming here. I believe it drops on June 6th, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, June 7th, right there. June 7th. So get ready, everyone, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and we will see you in the next one.